So in this video today, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm already trying not to laugh at what we're about to listen to, but we're going to be sat here reacting to another part of the debate that took place on Piers Morgan Uncensored, featuring Riley Gaines and Officer Tatum. You guys seem to love the previous one I did, and that one was all about the woke liberal on the panel, James Barr, getting very emotional, almost having a breakdown over others on the panel, misgendering Dylan Mulvaney because... How dare they? In this one today, it's all about women's sports, and I tell you now, the entire panel just lose their patience with some of the stuff this guy comes out with. You got to give it to him. It's a talent at this rate, it really is. But before we get into this one, if you could, make sure to leave a like rating. If you're new, hit that subscribe button, turn on bell notifications so you never miss a video, comment on this video, share this video, buckle up, and let's get into it.
And Riley, for those who don't know what's going on with the NCAA, the National Collegiate Athletic Association in America, you're one of many athletes, female athletes, suing them for their transgender participation policy. Why?
Yeah, so basically the NCAA, their most basic duties are to protect athletes, both male and female, to protect their opportunities, to protect their safety, to protect their privacy in areas of undressing. And bottom line is the NCAA is failing on every account of that by allowing men into our fields, onto our courts, in the pool with us, in our locker rooms. So that's what this lawsuit is about. That's what we're hoping to change here. So again, myself plus 15 other athletes who have been adversely impacted at the hands of the NCAA are now taking legal action and saying what they are doing explicitly and actively and directly is discriminating against us on the basis of our sex. And so to your point, if we want to talk about discrimination, that's exactly what my teammates and myself and my competitors and girls around the country, again, at the hands of the NCAA, continue to have happen to
Well,
them.
you're also discriminating. But what about lesbians? Are they allowed in your changing rooms?
They're biological women.
No, but you're talking about women.
They're women.
Yeah, they're women.
But you're worried about women seeing your body?
I mentioned nothing about. I mentioned nothing about. No. What I have a problem with is I don't want to see a naked man's genitalia. I'm married. I have a husband. You think my husband wants me seeing another naked man while he also gets to simultaneously, non-consensually at that, get to see me naked? No way. That goes against my values as a Christian. That goes against my values as a married woman. No way. That's what I have a problem with. It has nothing to do with his sexual orientation.
I don't get what's so hard to understand about this. It's like these woke liberals just have tunnel vision and they won't accept anything else. And if you go against how they feel, that's it. Oh, no. You're in the wrong. How dare you? Look, it's simple. Women don't want men going into their locker rooms, changing rooms, safe spaces, private spaces, whatever. It shouldn't be compromised for just the simple reason of validating how somebody feels. That shouldn't be happening. You know, it goes against truth, reality, common sense. Women who go through this, and without their consent, by the way, they feel very uncomfortable with going into a changing room and seeing a full-grown dude in there. Not only is he getting changed in there with them as well, he gets to see them unchanged. How is that okay? How does that make sense? It doesn't. It is so simple that it really does blow my mind that we're still having this conversation because woke liberals just fail to see the common sense that is right in front of them.
I want to play a clip, Riley. This is you on Joe Rogan 12 days ago. Which you talked about another aspect of the Leah Thomas story.
Does Leah Thompson have sex with girls?
What?
Leah Thomas, rather.
Yeah. At the time, again, this is what I know based off of what his teammates have told me and what really has been public knowledge based off what they post and different things. At the time of that national championships, he was still dating women and active with women.
Sexually. So obviously has testosterone.
Yes. But now, again, based off of social media, he is engaged to another man who claims to be a woman. So two men, but they call themselves lesbians. So who knows? But yes.
But at the time. So
yeah.
If you're on that team, you're a woman and you have a biological male who's intact, who's having sex with women, walking around naked in the locker room with women, and if you're uncomfortable with that, you should educate yourself. And learn how to use she, her pronouns and accept defeat.
Wow, I wasn't aware of that. So we have Leah Thomas, as we all know, famously going into the locker rooms again without the women's consent, and at the time, he was still dating women, having relations with women. Now, obviously, the NCAA might not have known about that, and that's maybe because, you know, the world has become so tolerant of absolutely everything. Asking that question didn't even click in anyone's minds. I mean, you can tell the world is so tolerant of everything because they didn't even think of the safety issues with allowing a man into a women's locker room. And if the women in there didn't accept it, if they were uncomfortable, they were the ones that had to go through the consequences. They were the ones that had to get re-education and learn about using the right pronouns. I know, but you've got to be kind and loving of everything.
Esther, do you feel educated?
I feel the opposite. I actually feel myself losing brain cells. I actually thought my brain was going to leak through my nose, realizing Leah Thomas or Liam Thomas or whatever the name is, dating history. Look, I don't think, the reason why I don't get as worked up or upset about this is because I recognize society's flaw. They have given mentally unwell people the status of being right. They've given the status of validating their delusions. And in other ways, compelling us to validate those delusions. I'm not offended by Dylan Mulvaney. It doesn't offend me because this is a mentally unwell person. Why should I be offended that this person is trolling? I actually think a lot of conservative stations make the mistake of giving people like Dylan Mulvaney the publicity that he craves. Because I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm looking at a mentally well person. That's a lie. I'm not going to do that.
You're gatekeeping womanhood, which is the most manly thing you could possibly do. So I'm going to say, do you want me to start misgendering?
You were educated at the expense of the British taxpayer. You were educated at the expense of the British taxpayer, and you don't know the difference between a man and a woman.
James,
are you serious?
You cannot compel people to use
I'm not compelling people, but I want people to be kind.
I am kind. I'm lovely.
You're calling her mentally unwell.
He is mentally unwell.
Very
excuse me, I'm
Everyone
sorry.
on this panel so far has had zero empathy for any of the people we're discussing.
You don't
want to hear other people's opinions.
Than Riley has.
You don't want to hear other people's
Yeah,
opinions.
Brandon, coming to you.
Everyone has an opinion. You may not like the opinion, which is fine.
Where's
I
the
don't
love?
agree with you.
Where's
it
the love?
doesn't matter.
It's not lying.
You think love is lying to people and deceiving people. I think love is telling people the truth and being consistent across the board. Dylan Mulvaney is crazy.
Where's the dignity?
Now let me tell you this.
Where's the respect?
Let's put this in perspective.
Where's the respect?
Because I think people get caught up in the gender role thing. Just imagine if a person was white and decided to identify as black and did all of these crazy things that
this argument has been had so many times.
Listen, that they did stereotypically what black people would do. We would be outraged.
We would.
It would be a sham.
I agree.
We would not accept it.
He's 100% right. If people started doing that, the outrage would be huge. And both things can't be true anyway. You know, a white guy can't be a black guy, and a guy can't be a woman can't be a guy. But for some reason, we're just allowing one thing to slide and allow it to happen. And I like the point he made about love isn't lying to people. You know, the woke left, the woke liberals, their idea of love is reaffirming delusion and lying to people. This is why when they claim to be allies, they're actually not. They're not doing it out of love as they think they are. Because when a guy comes out, for example, a young guy, and he says, look, I'm going to identify as a woman now. Being loving isn't, you know, standing there clapping, cheering, and then pushing them down a road of, you know, medication, surgery, whatever. That's not loving. How is allowing adults, young adults, to be so lost, confused, as we see all the time about who they are? They don't even know who they are anymore. How is that based on love? Because from what I can see, that isn't love. And then when you come out and question that and you point out what is going on and why it's wrong, they then get very angry, very hateful. They start labeling you all these buzzwords in an attempt to silence you. They're not loving. They're not caring. All they care about is this warped liberal agenda.
And so we shouldn't do that. What Dylan Mulvaney is doing is wearing women face. The person is not a woman. He's not trying to be a woman. He's impersonating.
Honestly, like, I can't continue to sit here listening to this absolute nonsense. Riley, I want to ask you a question, because a lot of this is to do with sport and how you feel it's unfair because you're up against people with a bigger body, right? So do you think it's unfair that someone who's taller than you or has more strength than you can be in the same team? Is that the argument we're making here? Is that what's unfair?
I think it's to do with the chromosomes, but I'll let Riley answer that.
The conclusion you're drawing, let's look at this for what it is. A man, on average, you take any sport, you take track and field, you take swimming. Swimming is the sport I played, let's look at swimming. Across the field consistently, if you look at the world record against the men on the men's side versus the world record on the women's side, consistently that athletic performance gap is 10 to 12%. Someone being a few inches taller than me, it does not make up for that 10 to 12% performance gap we're talking about by having a man competing against a woman. Of course, there are natural advantages that people possess, but what we're talking about specifically here is beyond comparison to what the conclusion you're drawing right now.
The conclusion I'm drawing is that we should just get rid of gender altogether, and we should have sports based on body metrics, because then
you would like to have the Olympics. So just to be clear, the Olympic Games you'd have gender neutral.
Yes, I would, because the only reason, Riley, surely you agree, the only reason women's sport exists is because men were gatekeeping sport for so long, and then finally said, you know what, fine, have your own. But really, if we just remove
how many biological women?
If we remove gender from sports, please let me finish my point, then we won't have this issue. Safety won't be an issue.
I'm
we
sorry.
can make sure that everyone has a fair chance.
That is so
competing
James,
together.
that is so spectacularly ill-informed and dumb.
Well, is it, Riley?
Wait, are you saying we should?
If you have a gender-neutral Olympics, no biological women would win a gold medal.
Let me just add a point here. Are you saying that we should get rid of men and women's sports altogether?
Similar body types, body metrics, bone index.
That makes no sense. You clearly have never played sports before.
Are you saying that we should get rid of sporting categories altogether and have just one big pool?
No, I'm saying people should compete against people that have a similar body type so that it's fairer.
That makes no sense. You've never played sports before.
So if you're talking about getting rid of...
I've come up with a solution for the problem that doesn't exist.
No, you haven't. You just don't
problem that doesn't exist.
There is no comparison between the bone density and body mass of males and females. That's why they separate the sexes in sport.
That's
because
not why they separate
biological
the
males would destroy biological females. There's a reason they separate them.
If you're saying that we should get rid of sporting categories altogether, do you support the idea of eliminating the Paralympics versus the Olympics?
I think that's a really great question, and
my God!
I need to look into that because, as you say,
the conundrum.
Paralympians to compete against Olympics.
Imagine not.
To be honest,
you are a total.
But maybe that's the point. Maybe that's the point.
The point is you never play sport.
That's very.
You never play sport.
Ablephobic.
Hang on.
That is incredibly ablephobic.
Hang on. Time out. I want to ask James one simple question.
Are you saying people who are disabled
have you ever played sport at all?
No, of course I haven't played sport.
He's never played sport.
Do I look like a person that's into sport?
What he wants is Paralympians taking on Olympians.
No, I don't want that. I want everyone to be
gender-neutral
safe.
Olympics.
I want everyone to be happy. I want everyone to be treated with dignity and respect.
None of this.
Actually, you don't. You want unfairness and inequality to rage
absolutely
and ruin women's sport
irrevocably. You just had a go at me about that.
You've just said a load of crap.
Well, so have you.
No, I haven't.
Yes, you have.
I understand physiology and sport.
Well, good for you.
You don't.
Good for you, but you don't understand loving a human being.
We wouldn't be having all of this
I understand it enough. I've got 3 sons and a daughter, and they don't play sport together in a fair way.
I ain't gonna lie, ladies and gentlemen, I've never heard so much crap in all my life. I really haven't. You know, I'm going to assume a lot of these woke liberals don't play a lot of sports because they're too busy kicking, screaming, shouting about somebody getting misgendered or something, but they don't understand what it takes to be an athlete, to be in sports, you know, to sacrifice everything, train every single day, put everything to the side and focus on one thing, and then when you get to a competition, for that to be thrown out of the window because, again, society has reaffirmed how a man feels. They don't understand that, and then women are dealing with the consequences of this. They're losing out on opportunities, they're losing places, awards, money. How is that loving and how is that caring? Is it loving to allow women potentially to get injured by a man that's playing a contact sport? Is it loving and caring to allow a male identifying as a woman to get changed around women in the locker rooms? No, I don't think so. Again, apparently, according to James, this problem doesn't exist. So why are we all sat here talking about it then? Why is it still a big talking point within society? Why are we seeing every single week, month, a male going into a sporting competition on the women's side of things and dominating? Why does that happen? Oh yeah, I forgot, it doesn't exist. Leave your thoughts down below on this one, ladies and gentlemen. What are your thoughts on everything we've seen and heard? I'd like to know. If you have enjoyed, again, make sure to leave a like rating. If you're new, hit that subscribe button, turn on bell notifications so you never miss a video. Comment on this video, share this video. But until next time, it has been your boy JD. Have a great day, stay safe, and I'm out. Peace.